Hey folks, it's time for TWiP PRO Photo Critique number 69. This is TWiP. Hey, welcome back to another TWiP PRO Photo Critique. I'm here with my partner in crime, Mr. Troy Miller. We are here to talk about the submissions to last week's critique, or to the last week's topic, which was love. It was all about love. So we're going to see how the TWiP PRO community interprets love. I think you're going to be surprised at some of the submissions. Troy, did you see you had to look at some of the goodies that folks put in there?
I did. There's some good stuff in here for sure.
There's some stuff. It's interesting. Some people have an interesting take on what love is. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some non-human images in here.
Non-human. Yeah, let's go that way. Yeah, lots of non-humanity in there. But, you know, we'll see. Yeah, I have my own opinions on that, so we'll talk about it when we get to it. So anything new with you before we jump in?
Tomorrow I'm doing an interview with Tim Ingle, our very own Tim Ingle. We're going to be talking about that on IEPBV Live. So I put a link in TWiP PRO, and he's also going to be an instructor at F64 Live. So that'll be really cool. So just working on that stuff. Very cool.
Kind of a Tim Ingle, like we always say, is the MacGyver of photography. So he can, he's either the MacGyver or the Rumpelstiltskin, right? So he can take straw and weave it into gold, right? Home Depot straw into gold.
And that's going to be his topic, and what he's going to be teaching at F64 Live is basically, it's going to be called Smoke and Mirrors, and it's how to create amazing light without having to have super expensive tools, you know? So so I'm looking forward to it.
All right, cool. Well, yeah, keep an eye out for that, folks. That's Tim Rumpelstiltskin Home Depot Ingle is coming on to
Tim MacGyver Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah, the Mr. Do More with Less guy. All right, man. Well, let's dive in to this week's submissions. Let's bring up the screen here. Here's TWiP PRO. And it looks like the first shot here is from Armando Brooke. Let's take a look. All right, look at those people. Look at the colors. I love the colors, and the lighting's really cool on this. I love the red and the mask of the faces, you know, against the purplish greens of the background, and the overall sort of slightly oversaturated, contrasty look to it. Clarity, you know, is sort of the flavor here. What do you think?
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, I love the presentation, the key line, the colors really pop. Even in that little tiny thumbnail when it first came up, you're like, man, there's some color in there. That has to be Armando's. And I love the eye connection between the baby monkey and then I don't know, it's the mother on the left. Mm-hmm. So it's, you know, it's a really cool moment. It shows that there's a connection there. Somebody's being groomed from the right. That's cool.
I wonder, I think the answer to this is yes, but do you think monkeys can love? And sure. Can all animals love? Like, bless you. Can dogs love? Can cats love? Or is it just, I know where my food comes from? Let me.
I think they can. I think there's a definite, humans like to pour meaning into those kind of things to humanize the animals. But I think in their capacity, I think they do. They form a bond and attachment to each other and their humans. Yeah. You know, I don't know that pigeons would love, right? Like, I don't know. I don't have pigeon experience, but like dogs and cats and other mammals, yeah, definitely.
But like, where does that line? I don't know. I'm digressing. I wonder where that line is. You know, is it primates only, or is it mammals that can love and, you know, other species can't? Insects can't love. You know, I don't know.
You know,
can a cockroach love? Right?
Deeper and more complicated discussion.
Yeah, I know. That's me. That's the definition of me.
You have exceeded my knowledge base right there.
Yeah, well, we'll find out. TWiP PRO, answer the question for us. Where's the line between things that can love and things that can't? Is it insect? Can crabs love? Can fish love each other? Can whales love? All right, next shot up is from Joshua Sommerfeld. All right, look at this. Looks like this could have been at a wedding or something, right? So I'm going to throw it to you. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, this is really cool. I mean, it's at the South Carolina Fair, so I'm just going to guess that it's at the fair, but, you know, could be a wedding.
Oh, you're displaying your reading skills. Okay, now you're just showing off now.
I really love these type of images. I see these a lot at weddings and things like that. So I just love that interaction, the laughing, the dancing. The image is really dark, and I know that Mighty does tend to crunch the images a little bit, but it is really, really dark. So I just wish that the exposure was brought up a bit for us to see. But a great moment captured. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it too. I love the look and it's all in the expressions, right? And you being a wedding photographer, I think you said you've shot at least 50 or so weddings in your career.
Yeah, maybe.
Being a wedding photographer, it's all in the expression, right? And when you're shooting this kind of stuff, are you just waiting and looking at the faces, and you got the camera ready, exposure's dialed in, everything's ready, your fingers on the shutter, it's focused, and you're waiting for the look? Or are you let me just burst off several frames and then I'll harvest the right one?
Oh, how dare you ask me that last part. I certainly wait. I watch the light, I watch the background, I watch the facial expressions, I wait till they turn, till they're just in the right place so I can see the face I want to see, and then I take 1 or 2 shots.
Yeah, so, nice.
Yeah, this feels well timed to me. This feels good.
Yeah. You shoot like you're shooting on film, right?
Yeah, that's how I learn.
Cha-ching. That's right. Very cool. All right, Joshua, thank you for that. Joshua took a step away from the alligators and other wildlife and decided to shoot some humans. See, maybe Joshua knows or believes that only humans can love. That's why he submitted a human photo. All right, here's a human from Mark Harris. And Mark Harris says, the love of a mother-to-be, Cassie at 34 weeks, Nikon D850, Zeiss 50mm, made just before sunset at Sandy Hook Beach in New Jersey. I was just in New Jersey yesterday.
Oh, awesome. I love these shots. Yeah, this is great. I love the use of light. That rim light is really nice because it really shows off her shape.
Yeah.
So even pregnant moms, a little bit more posing, a little bit of weight on one leg or the other, cross the ankle slightly or kick a toe out, that makes it feel a little bit more casual. And then when you're doing maternity like this, my only other suggestion is her left hand. She needs to grab a little bit more material from her right, so it pulls under the belly and completes the whole roundness of her tummy right there.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. See how the material is there? I mean,
yep.
You can still see it, but if she would have just with that left hand held that material back a little bit more, you'd get that full round belly in there, which is cool. But I mean, what an awesome shot anyway.
Would you have made it more silhouetted? Like I struggle with, do I want the detail in her or do I just want detail in the highlight from the backlight?
I like the way it is right now because I want to be able to see a little bit more of her facial expression. If it was pure silhouette, then I would just see the outline of her face and I wouldn't know that she's smiling. So I like this, but I do like the fact that it's kind of a semi-silhouette. We're rim lighting her that shows off her belly and everything really, really nice. And I think that's super cool. I probably would have turned her face slightly to the left and had her sort of look past me so that some light was rim lighting her face as well. But not mandatory, just little picky stuff.
Yeah, very cool. All right. Very nice, Mark Harris. Thank you, sir. I met Mark Harris, by the way.
Oh, you did? Oh, yeah, when you went to...
in New Jersey. Yes. Yeah, I got to shake his hand. Mark Harris, nice to meet you, sir. All right, next up is Eric Bronski. And Eric says, papal affection. This image was taken on a Wednesday when the Pope addresses the crowd in St. Peter's Square in the Vatican. A security person told us where to stand to get a good glimpse of him as he passes on his way to giving his address. All of a sudden, the man in the lower left corner raised his little baby boy in front of us, and I was lucky to fire this frame. I chose not to completely crop out the arm raised with the cell phone on the right side, but burned it down a bit. I thought the cell phone added to the context of being in a crowd. Your thoughts on this? All right, let's bring it up.
Yeah, very nice. Good timing. I love that.
Yeah, tell me. Yeah, I see your hand going up, folks. I'm recording this so I can see Troy, and when I see a shot like this, I can read his mind, and he's holding up his hand to obscure that cell phone, right?
Yeah, I feel I get the story with the cell phone. I think if there were many cell phones around, or many foreground elements that was blocking, that we're kind of shooting through and maybe made a bit of a window, I would leave them in. Mm-hmm. I think that enough cell phones in the background tell that story. I would crop that out on the right.
I think, speaking of cropping, I think there's like you always say, there's multiple photos in here, right? So I think I would have zoomed in. I want to see it if he had the resolution in the original image. I'd want to zoom in and see, more of just the Pope kissing the baby and make that the intimate shot. Although I do like the father holding the baby up, because that kind of tells a story right there. But I feel like I'm losing too much of the father in there. Maybe if either there was a little bit more of the dad, assuming that's the dad, there's a little more of the adult holding the baby up. Or or get him out of there altogether and just show this as the baby being kissed on the forehead by the Pope.
Right. Yeah, this is one of those images that it's not wrong either way, I don't think. I mean, I think you have an amazing image right here. Yeah. I think if I cropped the handoff, I would prefer it. But that's just a preference. I also agree with what you're saying, Frederick, is that I would like to crop it tighter and more vertical so I can just see, the Pope and the baby, because I think that image right there is super, super strong.
Yeah. And I struggle with cropping it vertical. I was looking at this and my brain is like, well, do you want to show the cross? Because that kind of helps to sell the story. But if you show the cross, then you have to show the disembodied hand of the father holding up the baby there. So I don't know. I'm on the fence of if I would just, crop in, just below the baby's arm there, or maybe even tighter. And then, if you have the resolution, like into the faces, so that you have, just the Pope and part of the hat in there and the baby, so that you're really tight and intimate.
Right. Either way, I think all those make a great image, and it's a good timing, and it shows that being prepared, for a shot to happen. Like, you didn't expect this, but you got to be prepared for the unexpected.
That's right. Like a wedding, right?
Know your gear. Yeah, know your gear, know how it works, have your, your settings dialed so that when stuff happens, it happens quick.
Yeah, like if Troy Miller was shooting this, he would, just hit that shutter button and let it fly and fill up a memory card.
You are evil and nasty.
That's just wrong, man. All right. Thanks, Eric, for that shot. Thomas Aaron is up next. What's up, Tommy? All right. Thomas says, saw this guy in Cripple Creek, a mountain town in Colorado, waiting at the bus stop with his dog. Something was wrong here, but I didn't ask what. This man certainly loved his dog and vice versa. It can be difficult to find a truer love this side of heaven than that of a man and his dog.
Well, you go. You have Thomas's answer. To
all right, Thomas. Yeah, you're helping us answer that. Well, that wasn't the question. Well, you kind of asked, can dogs and cats, etc., love? But the bigger question is, where is that line between things that can love and things that can't? Is it insects? Do you draw the line at insects? If so, which insects?
Yeah, well, I'm going to go ahead and put the line at insects. I'm going to start there, and we can move that line, through amphibians and stuff if we need to.
Yeah, because I was going to say, like, if you say insects, that means spiders, and if you say spiders, they're in the crab family, so it means crabs can't love, right?
Spiders are not insects. Insects have 6 legs. Spiders are arachnids. They have 8.
Oh, so arachnids can love.
Oh my God! Everybody's like, "What the hell are you doing?"
These are the questions that go on in my mind. I'm sorry. It's
yeah. Just so everybody knows, is this the Frederick and I talk about when we're not talking about photos?
Yes, exactly. It's either this or geekery.
Yeah. Love the shot, Thomas. By the way, love the shot.
Yeah, Thomas rocked it. Dog whisperer. All right. This next shot is from Lamb, and Lamb says, in ancient China, in a remote village, the filial daughter was breastfeeding her mother, who was too old and weak to feed herself. By virtue of her act, she was a shining example for the village children to learn the Chinese moral obligations of taking care of their old parents in return for their great sacrifices in raising them under adverse conditions. Wow, need some more of that in the U.S. The two statues are located in the garden of the famous Chinese temple called Tian Hao Gong in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. While shooting, the head and shoulders of the daughter were excluded from the frame on purpose so as to emphasize the aging look of the mother. All right, let's bring that up. I love Lam's stories.
I know.
And I feel like I get a little glimpse and a little education on Chinese culture every shot he submits.
Yes.
It's really cool.
Yes. And they're well done and they're intentional. And I really appreciate that, Lam. That's really great. The way that you described that too. Not knowing this story, the image really wouldn't have the same amount of meaning to me. Although it'd be mysterious and I would have to wonder and come up with my own stories. It's great to know what that is and how that shares. And that's certainly a good example of what love would be.
Yep.
Yeah, this image, yeah.
Yep, it's really good, really good. And I love, captioning. It's so important. And it's interesting. Like I did that story or that interview where the interviewee was talking about doing the one a week photography, and how he narrates them with audio. I think that's cool too. Like I would love to have Lam do that and narrate this in his own voice. Right?
Oh, right.
And have him just sort of discuss the photo. That would be so killer to hear it in his voice and his thoughts and the passion behind it, because that helps you understand why the photo was made and the passion of the photographer. So, all right, Lam, thank you for that. All right, William Bannock's up next. William says, why don't we do it in the rose bush? Apologies, Mr. McCartney. Any macro photography worth his salt has a few good bug porn photos. Enough said. Wow. This really bugs me.
This really bugs me. I was going to say that.
I know. That's why I said it first.
You could, because you saw me winding up to say something. I know you do that.
One of these beetles is smiling. I can't. This isn't great.
I can't even comment. I don't even know what to say.
That's why you got to say it without saying it with this kind of shot. Yeah. No, this is. I mean, let's look at it from a technical standpoint. Look at the focus on this is impossibly sharp, right? I mean,
well, what I think of is he's out in the wilderness and he's looking around for things to see, and he sees this, and he takes his time to photograph this. With all of his, macro powers, this is what he chose to photograph. So,
this is interesting.
It makes me laugh.
This is nature, and okay, so technically this photo is great. I love the processing of it. I mean, macro photos, they always reveal a part of the world that we rarely see. So it's when they're well done like this, it's always interesting because you just want to go in there and like, oh wow, look at the detail on the eyes and. The hairs and the little patches of hair on the abdomen, it's just, it's really well executed. But then, are these two organisms in love? Does this really represent love? Or does this represent a biological imperative to survive and reproduce? I'm just saying.
Well, okay, but, let's not get too technical here. Like I'm not like a bug expert, but I mean, what are they really doing? It just looks like one's carrying the other. Like maybe this is just an act of kindness. Like I'm going to carry you across the rosebud. I mean, like, how do we really know what's going on here?
They may just be on a date, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
And they, when they look at you, they probably say the same thing. Like, what are those two humans doing?
Oh,
like,
right.
They're just like, come on. That doesn't even look fun. They should be riding on each other's backs.
I don't know. We need to name them.
Yeah, I know. There you go. I don't know. I'm not naming them. Leave it up to William. William can name his two porn stars here, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
But I love this shot. Whenever you get into this macro world, it just starts looking alien. I love that.
Yeah, the macro stuff's cool.
It's just especially of insects. It's just a whole nother Ant-Man world. I love it. Cool. Love the shot. Thank you, William. All right. Next up is Peter Levshin. All right. And Peter says he shot this in Bali. It's an old lady with her pet. And they are in love. All right, let's take a look. How you know that, Peter? Did she tell you? Did the chicken tell you? The rooster? Like,
That's her pet. That's her pet rooster.
yeah, their pet. Yeah, it's a backup.
That is.
I
great.
love it. What do you think of the shot?
I think it's amazing. I really do. I love her, her smile, she's not making eye contact with us. It's like she's kind of looking around. So I like that a lot. Yeah. The way that she's holding the chicken, it's just, it's definitely, it looks like something she has a really strong bond with. She carries the thing around probably with her.
That's a rooster, by the way.
Well, okay. Got it. I was being generic.
Yeah, they wouldn't appreciate that.
You thought a spider was an insect. Come on.
Well, they are.
They're not.
They're okay. They are in my book. So you win. I'm not gonna have a conversation with a spider about arachnid versus bug. So.
No, this is great. I love the crop. The square crop is amazing. The color treatment is really, really nice. The color harmony is good because all those warm tones that match her skin and her outfit and the rooster.
Yeah. Is that rooster alive? I don't know. Those are some dead eyes in that rooster. Peter, you got to let us know. Was that rooster alive or was it like a taxidermy thing or like what's going on? I'm going to guess that it was alive and I'm just ignorant and I don't know what rooster eyes look like. No, I love the detail. I love the vertical lines in the background. Like you said, I love the pattern or the processing, the warm tones, which look intentional. I love the textures in here. The texture on her blouse, on her dress, the feathers on the rooster, the wrinkles in her hands and in her face. It's all very real. It feels very, very real versus a portrait kind of thing. So It kind of looks like Peter was walking down some street and saw her and she was just sort of sitting there and he turned his camera and snapped it and then processed it in his hotel room and came up with this.
Yep.
Or he brought it home and made you do it. I don't know.
Well, there's a little bit of that. There's a little bit of me in here.
See, how did I know that?
That's my preset.
Oh, there you go. Is that one of your Capture One presets?
No, this is one of my Lightroom presets from a while back that he uses.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because Capture One makes styles, not presets.
Yeah. He's got Capture One. He just hasn't learned it yet.
Yeah.
Come on.
And like he said in the member mixer, why does he need to spend the brain power to learn it when he has a Troy?
I know. But I did not edit this one. This is all Peter.
Very good. I like the shot. It's very nice. Very nice. Thank you, Peter Levshin. All right. Up next is Alicia. And Alicia says, in all the paths we travel, may they always lead us to love. Smiley. Yeah, look at this. This looks like, God, I can't remember that sort of mind teaser painting where all the steps. Yeah. Is it MC Escher?
Yeah, MC Escher. Yeah.
Yeah, where the stairs are all going in the wrong directions, and it's this kind of reminds me of that shot.
Yeah, I really dig this. I mean, for me, one, I like the black and white treatment, which I always like the black and white, and I like the intentional, posing of them in all the stairs. That gets really complicated. Mm-hmm. And their pose. I mean, I pretty much like the way that they're posed in there too. I like their interaction and stuff. I think that's super cool. Mm-hmm. So definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, I like this one a lot too. It definitely screams love. I love the composition. I love the processing.
Right.
It's just very well executed, and it shows a lot of intent.
There's a lot of good framing that's going on here, natural framing. My only suggestion is like in his right pocket, he's got a pocket full of stuff like phones or whatever. So those things always show up in portraits. So
right. Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta get rid of that.
Would you see that like when you're shooting now? Of course you would, because you've dealt with it. Like, I can imagine you not seeing it in the beginning of your career and getting to shots like this. It's like, dang, if I just took a second to tell him to take that stuff out of his pocket, this would have been a saleable image, but it's not now. Like,
it's always a saleable image. Like the client will never see that, and it will rarely ever bother them. It just bothers me. And it's super hard to take that stuff out in post because you have the wrinkles and the shadows and the shape will look completely unnatural when you try to take them out. So it's so much better just to do it ahead of time. But the thing that really cemented that for me was I entered an imaging competition and the groom had a cell phone in his pocket of his jacket, and I didn't see it, but the judge did.
Oh,
And that killed my image. I mean, it was an amazing image. It would have done really, really well. But the judge is like, oh, I would give this a higher score, but I can see the cell phone, and that would have been easy for me to take out, and I completely missed it. And so from then on, like, I see that stuff even better now.
yeah. You either see it when you're shooting or see it afterwards in post. And
yeah. So yeah, but this is definitely one of my favorite images. I love the use of the space and everything.
Lovely. Very cool.
Yeah, and there's no insects or arachnids.
And we know that these two organisms theoretically can be in love, right? So, depending on where you draw the line, I don't know.
Right.
All right, Tanja has a shot in here. It's called Brother Love. Let's bring that up. Look at that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. Yeah, those are the good old days. I have an older brother that's about that much older than me. We used to hang around and have our little adventures. Run around and do crazy stuff like this. Well, this isn't really crazy, but we used to do all kinds of stuff. Like we used to mix anything in the garage that had the word flammable on it.
Oh my God.
To make a substance, because our goal was to invent something to get the oil spots out of the driveway. So let's make a super industrialized cleaner out of all this stuff. Then we messed up the driveway, of course.
Oh man, that's so dangerous. It's so good thing you made it. You made it.
We made it.
Holy crap. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Those are the good old days. You can't do that anymore.
No, I really do love this. I really think it's a great shot. I love the casualness of their heads and the way they're holding hands and everything, and that they're in step. I just wish it was centered. We don't need that space on the right.
I thought you were going to say something about the cut off foot, because I know you have a thing about amputation.
I mean, look, it's things like this are all about intention, right? Mm-hmm. So when you push the button on the shutter, like you committed to saying, yes, I like this image, I believe in this image, but a lot of it is the time it takes to see what's in the frame and make sure that you've composited it correctly. So it's me being super nitpicky for sure, but I would like to see the foot.
Yeah. I agree with you on the framing as well. I think I see where she was going with the rule of thirds thing, kind of, position them in the lower left, I think they're too large in the frame for that rule of thirds to really kick in, maybe just slightly. So if it was a little bit wider and they were down there, then you'd have sort of that path leading in and them in the lower third, or even if she'd cropped it so that they were in the maybe upper right or lower right and have that path curving to the left into the frame.
Yes.
Then you have the composition, even subconsciously starts to feel a little better. But right now they're in the lower left. They're a little bit bigger. They're big in the frame, and they're going. The path is leading them back out of the frame versus into the frame. Yeah,
definitely. Crop the right side so it's tighter, slightly tighter than the left, and crop down from the top a little bit, which moves them to a slightly upper right. Mm-hmm, which is what you're saying, and then the flow will feel completely better. Yeah. Yep.
Love it. What do you think about the processing and the sort of the bluish tint on the image?
I don't mind it. I realize that I'm not a fan of cool colors, so I really don't have a dislike of this toning. That's totally preferential. I prefer more of a warm tone in my black and white. So that's just a personal preference.
Yeah, subjective. Yeah.
Yeah, very.
I don't have a bias either way on it. So cool. All right. Thank you, Tanja.
There was a black and white darkroom toning method that brought out like a little bit of a warm tone in the black and whites. I remember.
Yeah, I remember that too. Where are we at? We did
Eddie.
The porn. Okay, now we're on Eddie Lagos.
Great. So anybody that's listening, just the audio, they're going to be like, what?
There's a porn in this episode. You'll have to come see the video to see it. Eddie Lagos says, here's mine for the love topic. All right, let's bring that up. Look at that. Hey, I dig those glasses. Those are cool.
Yeah, like an engagement session or something maybe. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Very cool.
There's definitely love. I feel love coming out of this.
Yeah, I love the quiet, the arms wrapped. I mean, I love that snuggle. That's really cool. The light feels a little bit stronger. I think maybe a little bit more dodging and burning would be nice. Maybe bring the focus on her face a little bit more, like do a little bit of vignette. And then just a posing tip. I mean, for me, whenever you have arms, they can look really big, like they're bigger than your subject's face. So you minimize the arms as much as possible by, getting in closer, cropping tighter, and then just have him turn into her a little bit and close his eyes, drop his chin a little bit, so it doesn't look like he's looking off.
Yeah.
But no, I dig it. I mean, this is this is really beautiful, and this is something that the couple's going to absolutely love.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. So there's two things. So I know you, again, with cutting heads off and stuff. So whenever I see a shot like that's given one of the subjects a haircut, I think Troy Miller. So there's that I was going to ask about. For me, it's a little bit tight. Maybe that's because of the hair being cut. But I was going to ask you, and I'm on the fence about this. Would you have stopped down a little bit to have more of the background? Because it looks like they're on a beach somewhere, a rocky beach with a cliff in the ocean. Mm-hmm. But it's very out of focus. But if he had stopped down a little bit, it still would have been soft, but a little bit more distinguished or distinguishable. What do you think?
I like it soft like this. I'm okay. I don't need to see more detail back there. I would definitely, bring the overall exposure down. So when you say stop it down, I'm thinking exposure more than depth of field. I don't need to see more depth of field in this image because it's about them. And a lot of times portraits and things like that, it's really not about the environment that they're in as much as it is them. And the background just adds an ambiance for their experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, but this looks to me like there was artificial light added off to camera left. Maybe it just feels like there's some light added there. Mm-hmm. So, the exposure balance for me, it feels a little bit off.
Yeah. But he's got my ring on, so win. Love that. Cool. All right, Eddie Lagos. Thank you, sir. San Jose. So, yeah, that is West Coast then. Wait, let me see. Did he say San Jose? Yeah, San Jose, California. Yep, that's here. All right. Next shot is from Michael DeRay. And Michael says, Love Lost. Shot with his Olympus EM10. Yeah, see, even those two words, Love Lost, there's a story.
Yep.
Who lost whom?
Yeah. I think
you make up your own caption for this? Hey, honey, I know I said I couldn't come to the beach, but I decided to get a sitter and come. What, honey? With my sister.
Oh my God.
You see how my brain works? You see that?
Yeah. And the woman's walking into the water. You can see her feet have a little bit of a blur to them, so she's definitely in motion. So,
or it could be, or she could be saying, "With my brother." How dare you, Alicia? I love it. No, this is a cool shot. So, technically, what do you think about the exposure and the processing and all that of this shot?
I like it. I mean, it's the highlights and stuff have been intentionally pulled down a little bit. I like the vignette across the top. So I'm good with all that. I like the border treatment. It seems finished. I wish there wasn't as tight on the left, but maybe that's just how it had to be, the way that he cropped it. Mm-hmm. I think it tells an interesting story. Yeah. I mean, if you cropped it differently, it wouldn't work. You need that woman's full body on the left. So,
yep.
I think it's good. I think it's a fun play on the topic.
Yep. I agree. I love it, and I love that you can get the point across with just two words in the caption. And
right.
That's all it takes is two words to get Frederick's brain spinning in all kinds of weird directions. So,
yeah. Great storytelling. Yeah, I like the mystery. It's good.
Capture 112 and Affinity. Look at that.
Nice.
Seeing more and more of that. All right, and that's it, man. We've gone through everybody.
Yep.
So what do you think?
Well,
you got a favorite?
Well, it's either the rooster or it's the pathway, the paths to love, and I think I'm gonna go with Alicia's.
Yeah, and just by virtue of the fact that I already have that up on the screen, that's the one I was thinking.
I mean, I want to give credit to Peter for his rooster and his woman, but I really like what Alicia did with the space and the toning and the posing and the couple, and and it really speaks to the theme as well. So I think it's really good.
Yeah, for sure. I gotta give if we could do a runner up, my runner up would be William Bannock's, I think. In that one.
You just wanted to show that again. That's all you wanted to bring that one up again.
I know, it was like, the song that pops into my head when I hear this, when I look at this one. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me.
Oh my God.
I love it. Well, cool, man. Oh, lots of good submissions this week, huh?
Yeah, that's good. What's our topic for next week?
Next week is Father's Day. So all you fathers, get prepared to get your socks and T-shirts and mugs and all that good stuff and dinner made for you. So the topic for next week's photo contest or critique session is fathers. And
Perfect.
however you want to interpret that, fathers. It could be.
I'm curious to see what William puts in.
It'll be something abstract, of course, right?
Right. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, let's see what you guys could do with fathers. Let's see if you could do, my challenge to you would be to submit stuff that's not pedestrian and not expected. Right?
Something that inspires Frederick to sing.
Yes, there you go. Hey, I'm ready to get down anytime. Yeah, and it's fathers. The topic is fathers, not necessarily Father's Day. Right. Although you can interpret it as Father's Day if you want, but it is fathers. Fathers. So I don't know how else to say it. The male parental unit of some other organism. Fathers. Oh. And sound off in the comments if you know where the line for love is. Where's the line for love? What can love? Can bacteria love? Can viruses love? Or, can elephants love? Or can spiders? Schools of fish, squid, jellyfish. You right? Or is there love there, or is it just survive and procreate? I don't know. Just saying. Some humans is just survive and procreate.
This is true. Yeah, the Matrix defined that well. Yeah, that we're a virus. Yeah.
We are, and global warming is a cold. So, just saying.
Global warming is a cold. Okay.
Global warming is a fever, and the Earth is trying to get rid of the virus. Get it? So, we're the virus.
I digress. So
what happens when you get sick? You get a fever, right? So, all right. Well, cool, man. So next week will be Father's Day. That's the topic, and we'll record that 7 days from today. And it looks like, so FYI, you know this, Troy, but I'm trying to work it out so that I get Jake Hicks on. Remember Jake Hicks to come on and do a co-critique with us, either with me and him or you and him or all three of us or something like that. But I want to get Jake Hicks in here to get his opinions. It's likely going to happen if Jake is available on the 24th of June. So we'll try to get him in, which means next week's topic after, we'll announce it on the Father's Day show, but it'll be something to do with color or portraiture or fashion or something like that. So just keep that in mind. And I want to know if you guys like that. If you like it when we sort of mix it up like that and bring guests in with us to critique images, or would you rather it just be me and Troy from here to all eternity? Just saying.
If you answer correctly, cookies may show up in your mailbox.
Here you go. Cookies. Yeah, bribery cookies. Cool, man. All right, well, I'll let you get back to it. Thanks a lot for this. This has been a good show. This was a fun show. Fun. I still say I want answers. I want, and there's some scientists in TWiP PRO, just saying, that should immediately know the answer to the love biology question. So you know who you are. Sound off. Let us know. All right, man. I'll see you next time.
All right. Take care, bud.
Peace. This is TWiP.